Hey everyone, real quick before we start the kill count, I just want to thank Legion M, who not only helped produce Mandy, but they also do a lot of cool fan stuff like selling memorabilia on their website. They were kind enough to send me a brand new kick-ass murder axe after my original one broke right after I finished filming the Mandy kill count a couple of weeks ago. No! Check them out in the description below, and make sure you stay till the end of this video so you can see my heartbreak in real time, because the camera actually caught when my axe fell and broke. Thanks again for that replacement, Legion M, because this friggin' sucks, man. Alright, on to the kill count. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Mandy, released in 2018. Mandy was co-written and directed by Panos Cosmatos, whose awesome name is just the first indication of how metal this movie is. Put quite simply, this movie fucks. It's full of trippy visuals, outstanding colors, incredible music, and some seriously kick-ass kills. But don't get the wrong idea here. While Mandy is much more accessible than Cosmatos' previous film, Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is quite the experimental experience, it's still pretty different than your average mainstream feature. I'll squeeze it into a narrative box for the purpose of this kill count, but it's really more of a sensory experience that you should probably check out for yourself. Starring Nicolas Cage in his first appearance on the kill count, Mandy could superficially be described as a revenge story, since it follows a man hunting down a new age cult who has wronged him. But as I've indicated, that description makes Mandy sound much more straightforward than it is. Mostly because it doesn't mention anything about tigers or S&M biker gangs. Honestly, the story is secondary here. Panos Cosmatos wanted to make a, quote, collage of fears and inspirations that included heavy metal and old horror movie box art. The result is one phantasmagorical film that shows you just how weird movies can be. In between all the weirdness, though, are plenty of kills. Let's see how many and get to them. The movie begins with a poem about rock. Between that, the barbed font of the opening credits, and the freaking King Crimson song used as an opening theme, it's very obvious why Mandy has sometimes been described as a rock opera in film form. It's 1983, and Red Miller is a lumberjack in the Pacific Northwest, though the entire film was shot in Belgium, with this forest area played by the High Fens region. Red's a recovering alcoholic who lives in a dope-ass wooden cabin that production built from scratch atop an unused Boy Scout pavilion. He lives there with his partner Mandy Bloom, who's played by Andrea Riseborough, and who's a very talented artist. Look at that work, it's majestic as fuck! Red and Mandy lead a peaceful life of isolation on Crystal Lake, yes, it's named Crystal Lake, in the beautiful region of Title Card, or the Shadow Mountains. That's not this movie's name, what the fuck? The two of them seem like your average, totally in love couple that you could very well find at a horror convention, though perhaps with a dab more dad humor.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Eric Estrada.
Eric Estrada who?
Eric Estrada from Chips.
At night, their pillow talk includes discussions about astronomy beneath trippy cycling lights.
Saturn's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, but what the hell is casting all those colors? Oh, probably that lysergic sky up there, huh? Far out, man. While walking to work one day through the Crimson Forest, Mandy sees a van approaching with a bunch of strung out figures inside, including two dudes who look like an older and younger version of each other. The leader of this gang, Jeremiah Sand, sees Mandy outside his window and becomes so instantly enamored with her, he can't help but play their encounter over and over in his mind with multiple dissolves. Hell, he becomes focused on her to the point of a freeze frame. Try pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth, Jeremiah. That should fix it. These van-traveling cats are a new age cult known as the Title Card, the Children of the New Dawn. Still not the movie title, huh? The children do whatever Papa Jeremiah tells them to do so that they may quote-unquote ascend with him. He's got all the ascension tickets. Right now, he's telling Mother Marlene there that he needs to have Mandy.
I feel naked without her.
She's reluctant to fetch Mandy for Dear Leader, even though he pleads for her with all the drawn-out theatrics of Clay Davis saying shit.
Jeremiah.
Please.
But that's why he has other lickspittles around, like Brother Swan, who promises Jeremiah that Mandy will be his. In the meantime, Jeremiah asks Swan to send in Sister Lucy, and it's not hard to imagine why. Poor girl. Brother Swan drives out to the lake with the rest of these brainwashed bozos and blows a few notes into the horn of Abraxas. They wait for the results in their van, passing the time by playing with Power Windows, the car accessory, not the Rush album. That one's a bit too synthy. This movie's got more of a Hemispheres thing going on. Before long, they reap the benefit of that Abraxas blowing in the form of some ATVs and motorbikes rolling up. They're driven by some seriously scary motherfuckers. Cenobite-looking creatures who make the Gimp from Pulp Fiction look like Mr. Rogers. One of them caresses Brother Swan's face and accepts his payment to do some dirty work. A jar full of the goop. Yummy! These paste-eating Cenobikers have one more rider for their contract work, though. You talking about a sacrifice, you scary mofo? Well, that's exactly why we keep this doe-eyed fella around. That night, after watching Troma's Night Feast on TV, our cozy couple gets to bed, never anticipating the strobe-tastic horrors awaiting them. That's right, it's time to shield your eyes, my photosensitive friends, because this cult and their biker gang aren't staying outside for long. They show up inside the cabin as the lights flicker more than a TV screen in Poltergeist. Red and Mandy are left staring helplessly at one another as he gets beaten and she gets bagged. With her kidnapping complete, it's time to square up that blood for blood deal by sacrificing this Brother Lewis guy to the scary psycho bikers. Sorry dude, pick better friends next time. Mandy finds herself in the cult's kitchen with Sister Lucy and Mother Marlene, who tells her that Red's safety is dependent on her obedience, so obey! To help her obey, they live style, Marlene doses her in the eye with a hallucinogen and sticks her in the neck with a pickled wasp stinger. What the fuck was that all about?
I like to call that the cherry on top.
Yeah, well, that cherry done fucked up Mandy's eyesight by the looks of it. They drag Mandy into a tracer-filled nightmare where visual echoes of her movement help put the audience in her headspace. She's taken to Jeremiah, who looks and sounds like he's broadcasting straight from an opium den.
You called out to me. Silently. And I listened.
He demands that Mandy look at him, then plays her some tunes that he thinks is even better than the Carpenters.
Every seed that gives us life, every man must take a wife.
This track is a Jeremiah Sand original, a song he made a while back when he was part of a folk band. What's your song about, Jeremiah?
Jeremiah Sand was a righteous man.
Oh, it's about you. Of fucking course. Jeremiah got his sandy ass kicked out of said band, which pissed him off mightily, since he felt like he was entitled to fame and fortune. But that's okay. After his ouster, he started hearing from Christ himself, who promised Jeremiah a life much more fulfilling than that of a successful musician.
He said, you are not separate from all that is. So all that is yours.
Yep, now this egotist feels entitled to every gosh darn thing in the world.
All of it. Mine.
Great. Jeremiah is played by Linus Roach, who called the role one of the most creative journeys he's ever had in his career. Part of that journey was memorizing and delivering this lengthy monologue into the camera, which is only made weirder by the superimposition of Mandy's face over his. Jeremiah tells Mandy that since he's special and she's special, they should be special together, and thus he disrobes and hangs dong. But instead of feeling honored by his proposition, Mandy responds to both his music and his member in the most cutthroat way possible. She laughs. And although he tries to counter her humiliation with masturbation, her laughs just grow more and more intense. And yeah, that upsets him to say the least.
Don't you fucking look at me! Don't you fucking look at me! Don't you look at me! Don't you fucking
After consulting his mirror on the wall, Jeremiah decides to go antagonize Red, who's been tied up this whole time. Jeremiah tells Red that the love he has with Mandy isn't important. True love looks more like obedience, which is why he makes Sister Lucy play a game of Russian roulette right in front of Red's face. After that demonstration of the power of love, Brother Swan presents Linus with the tainted blade of the Pale Knight, straight from the Abyssal Layer, a fancy-ass D&D inspired name for what ends up being a simple shanking tool. Stabby stabby! Red watches as the children of the New Dawn drag Mandy out of their cabin in a sleeping bag. They hang her up, douse her in gasoline, and then those motherfuckers light that poor innocent woman on fire, laughing all the while. It's a horrific death, its injustice amplified by Red's silenced, gut-wrenching reaction, and with its conclusion, we're ready to begin the movie's second, much more batshit crazy half. Although he's bound by barbed wire, Red gets himself free from his restraint so he can crawl over to his lover's charred corpse. Wow, that fucking sucks, dude. It's like full-on T2 right there. It's enough to put him in a state of shock, and his fragile condition isn't helped at all when he walks inside and sees a commercial for the goddamn Cheddar Goblin on TV. Cheddar Goblin's fucking weird, man.
Cheddar Goblin.
Yeah, Red, Cheddar Goblin. It should come as no surprise that the Cheddar Goblin commercial, which gives us a nice break from the traumatizing tense shit that precedes it, was made by the same dude who created Too Many Cooks, Casper Kelly. The Mandy Blu-ray includes an extended look at the commercial, which was made by dumping 20 gallons of mac and cheese mixed with pineapple Faygo and lemon jello onto a couple of unfortunate kid actors for 6 hours straight. The Cheddar Goblin puppet was made by Shane Morton, who also created Smarf the Cat in Too Many Cooks. Morton wanted the mac and cheese mascot to look like, quote, Ghoulies meets Yoda meets Satan. And you know what? I think he succeeded. Red passes out and has an animated nightmare of a dead Mandy, which wakes him up with a start. You've had a real rough night there, Red. I'd say you've earned some breakfast vodka. Be sure to wash that down with some screaming, though. Attaboy, Red. I think you're good for seconds. He heads to a trailer to meet his old friend Carruthers, who's played by Bill Duke, last seen on the kill count, getting his head blown up by a predator. Red's there for his old crossbow, which he calls the Reaper, and some bolts to go with it, specially made by Carruthers.
It cut through bone like a fat kid through cake.
Red tells Carruthers his whole situation. Burnt up girlfriend, crazy cult, scary bikers, you know. Carruthers is familiar with the scene and says that those gnarly biker creatures are known as the Black Skulls. They're former drug couriers who were transformed by overpowered acid and who have lately been traveling the interstate killing truckers and sex workers. He gives Red a fair assessment of his chances in fighting them.
But your odds ain't that good, and you will probably die.
Don't be negative.
To increase his probability of, not dying, Red forges himself a murder axe in a scene reminiscent of the opening scene in Conan the Barbarian, a movie with a lot of similarities to Mandy. This glorious gleaming battle axe glaive is called the Beast, Brock Lesnar style, and is one of the coolest weapons I've ever seen in a horror movie. In fact, even though I don't have anything else to say here, I'm just gonna vamp for a minute so I can show you more footage of this forging. It's fucking awesome! And when it's finally done, Red's ready to wreak some vengeance for title card, or Mandy. Oh wait, yeah, that is the title card. Finally! This movie's trio of kick-ass title cards were designed by the team at Shinola, who also did the opening credits for Glow and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, as well as other stuff like Beck's music video for E-Pro. Very cool. Red drives out to find the Black Skulls, and when he spots them motocrossing through the forest, he wastes no time in taking down Scabs, the one with nails all over his damn body. With his first target felled, Red races full speed at the bastard and hits Scabs with his car, killing him but sending Red's vehicle flipping and crashing on the ground nearby. And by the way, as far as the names of the Black Skulls go, I'm doing my best with conflicting information from the internet, so go easy on me, alright? After another dream of Mandy, this time with some cartoon boobies, Red wakes up with one hand cuffed to a pipe and the other, just nailed into the floor, I guess. A waxy looking Black Skull named Sis approaches him and tries to play the therapist.
I don't want to talk about that.
Only for Red to break free from his imprisonment and beat that Black Skull into a pit. Red frees his other hand, then grabs a box cutter and some level 2 armor before heading upstairs to see what he can find. He finds this: 2 dead bodies of people who I'm assuming lived here before the Black Skulls started squatting. Sorry folks. He continues through this messy abode until he finds another Black Skull named Fuck Pig doing clouds of cocaine while some porn plays on the TV, which is probably Fuck Pig's average Tuesday afternoon. Fuck Pig's got a knifey codpiece, confirming that the older couple in the house were killed like the Lust victim in 7, and he tries to use it against Red too. Although the Black Skull has the obvious size advantage, Red wins in the end by slitting his throat with the box cutter. Yeah, Red, I guess it's pretty funny, if that's your sense of humor. Sis returns from her pit dropping with a gun, but she misses her shot and also fails to land a knife strike on Red. So Red wins this bout as well by doing the twist. Tell me, Black Skull, do you like it like this? Red visits the Alps and retrieves the beast before heading into the messy kitchen and finding a jar of that good shit. Wonder what the proper dosage would be for something like this. Think a fingertip would be good if you just wanted to— Whoa! Goddamn! Looks like a dollop is all you need if you want to blast your brain off into space. Holy shit, remember how much that nailhead guy had back when we first met him? What was that guy's life even? Red leaves and finds the 4th and final Black Skull, Scratch, standing by a burning car. Using the Reaper, he buries a crossbow bolt into Scratch's neck, but that doesn't even faze him. Red has to confront Scratch up close instead, and have a fight by this flaming car using his murder axe, which may be the coolest sentence I've ever said on this show. But not even that sentence can compare with how cool this kill is, cause Red manages to light this asshole on fire, and then, as Scratch taunts him about Mandy's death, he takes the beast and severs the still flaming head from the Black Skull's body. And as if a flaming decapitation wasn't already the most metal thing you've seen today, he then uses the burning head to light his cigarette. Fuck yeah, dude. Red steals an ATV and drives to a building where a chemist is hard at work making blot paper full of acid. The chemist, played by the Night King himself, Richard Brake, surrenders to Red Miller even though he has a tiger. Wait, he has a tiger?
That's Lizzie.
Aw, Lizzie's such a good girl. Go on and be free, kitty.
Bye, Lizzie.
The strung-out chemist offers sympathy to Red and tells him the whereabouts of the children of the New Dawn. Roar us on over there, Lizzie. Red drives his ATV through a tunnel, getting some serious bullet time while he does. Nice one, guy. And eventually finds himself on a cliff overlooking the rock quarry the children of the New Dawn now call home. Yeah, why are they building that temple from Midsummer down there? Using some spiky road jacks, which is what I'll call them, Red stops the cult van as it drives down the road, then pulls brother Swan out to beat him silly. Swan tries to talk shit about Mandy and quote Neil Young, but Red interrupts him by shoving the glaive end of the beast into Swan's mouth and pressing down hard. Eat it, bitch! Sister Lucy is left terrified, but perhaps remembering the roulette game she was forced to play earlier, Red leaves her and presses onward. The next cult member in his path is brother Hanker, the jackal-looking dude who's apparently obsessed with his car. He gets an axe to the head out of nowhere, and that's about it for him. Red then finds a chainsaw on the ground, a tool of his old trade. You know, before he became a professional drugged-up cult killer. He tries to rev it up as he approaches brother Klopek, but turns out Red just brought a ruler to a yardstick fight, cause brother Klopek is one lone man! Just when you thought this movie couldn't get any more metal, we get an all-out chainsaw fight! Which is obviously the coolest of all the all-out fights, blah blah blah. Red disarms the other dude, who then disarms him in turn, but with that big boy chainsaw still running on the ground right there, Red tells Klopek to try and saw this chain. He can't, and instead, brother Klopek is pulled to the ground and killed by getting his torso and face all mulched to hell. You know, it's so good to see you smiling again, Red. Red continues his path of destruction straight on into the temple, but he ain't here to read, he's here to make others bleed. Down a ladder and through some tunnels, Red eventually comes across Mother Marlene, hanging out in her own little corner of paradise. She's obviously scared of the blood-soaked intruder, but not too scared to gloat.
Jeremiah says I'm the most sensual lover he's ever experienced.
Are you trying to bribe Red with sex right now, lady? Because that's gonna be as effective as trying to bribe Jason with a bunch of cash. Which is to say, not very at all. Instead, it's a great way to get your head removed and tossed at your egotistical cult leader. Yeah, dude, kick that thing away. Wouldn't want to get severed head juice on your little Jesus undies there. At long last, Red finally gets to confront Jeremiah Sand again. Oh, hi yourself, motherfucker. Jeremiah tries to tell Red that he can't harm him because he's imbued with holy power. He's the Mandy Night Messiah, mofo. But to nobody's surprise, Red Miller doesn't subscribe to that mumbo jumbo. And to prove the cult leader wrong, Red grabs his head and kills him by squeezing it with all his strength. It's the kill that Red's been gunning for this whole damn time, and it's gotta be a bittersweet feeling for the guy to finally achieve it. With his murder work done, Red sets fire to the building and all the heads and bodies inside. So yeah, I guess that thing really did end up being like the Midsummer Temple, huh? By time it collapses in on itself, Red's ready to hit the road. But with his mission accomplished, this is the first waking moment where he has the time to really think about what he's lost. He drives off in his car, imagining Mandy in the passenger seat next to him, even though the movie ends with a reminder that she's not really there, no matter how much hell he's gone through to avenge her. How many people wound up getting axed on Nick Cage's bloody path of vengeance? Let's find out and get to the numbers. But first, let's have a little taste. Needs a little salt. 13 people died in Mandy, with the victims consisting of 9 men and 4 women. Although part of me thinks those crazy-ass Black Skulls should have had their own pie chart wedge. Too late for that, though! With a runtime of 121 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 9.31 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Scratch, the last Black Skull to die. The only thing cooler than a decapitation is one where the person's on fire, and that cigarette lighting seals the deal for me. Dull Machete for lamest kill will go to Brother Lewis, who was pulled into the shadows to be sacrificed off screen. And that's it. Mandy came out in 2018 and received a 4-minute standing ovation after its premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. Until next time, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. Yo, I bought this thing from Legion M and it's the coolest fucking thing ever! Fuck someone up with it. Thanks everyone. Be good people. Oh, that sits there real nice. Alright, that's it. Ah! No!
Baby, are you okay?
No! My fucking thing broke! Oh no! Oh no!